tuning in to the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
AFTERBUZZ TV, I'm Tauri Miller, and this is The 100, Season 3, Episode 3, Ye Who Enter Here.
Ooh.
And I'm joined by my wonderful panel. Let's start from my side.
Ooh, hey everybody, this is Alexis Torres. You can find me where all Alexis Torres are sold at ATorres 890. To my left is Ben Bateman.
My name is Ben Bateman. Yeah, guys, what's up? It's Ben Bateman here.
Oh my god.
Ben Bateman Media, Twitter, Instagram. You know, sometimes I sing. It's rare.
And
Hello, I'm Erin Lane. You can find me on Instagram at Always Eat Your Cake and on Twitter at Love Erin Lane.
And eat that cake.
nice. And you can find me at Tauri J. It's TAURIJAY. Welcome back for those who are diehard fans. Welcome for the first time if this is your first time. Just a reminder to everyone, we are on YouTube. We are on iTunes. We are on SoundCloud. So make sure to like, subscribe. It helps us out here, and it helps people recognize us on the streets.
How did we choose that song for the intro to the show? Who did that?
I did.
Yep.
It was great.
you.
Was it significant in some way? Did I miss a
No.
joke?
I was hoping that
Yes.
our engineer could I was feeling a Michael Jackson vibe. I was like, just make a song. I don't know.
Okay,
I mean,
great.
I would say it's very significant in that Lexa really wants to rock with Clark.
She does.
Really?
She
Yeah.
does want to rock
You know,
with it.
she wants that coalition to
Thanks,
rock
Eddie.
with them Sky Troops. Sky Crew.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, troops.
Yeah,
Also,
yeah.
apparently everyone in the chat is all about my face today. I don't know what's going on, but
It's a good face.
That's great.
Thanks, guys.
We're all about your face all the time.
Oh, thank you. I was feeling my 14-year-old self. It sounds weird. And wanted to just bring back my old gothic self, so I just decided to do it. And also, this episode was dark enough, I feel.
Should we play some
was
brand new or something like that?
I will take it. Immediately.
Start queuing that up for the end.
Yeah.
No, don't do it. Anyway.
So yeah, I feel like we have to start with the big stuff.
Please.
Clark and Lexa.
Or Klexa, if you will.
Very nice. I liked that. And also, how dare you? You can go float yourself.
All right, I'm gonna jump in first here. So
Okay.
I have two notes written down, one at the
All
beginning
right.
of the show and one at the end of the show. So I started thinking, remember last week we were talking about how the juxtaposition of female leaders and female relationships in the show,
Yes.
it's interesting, and they've taken it to such a degree now that we don't really think about it as like pushing the bar anymore. Now it's just like the show is that.
Yeah.
Right? So Lexa's a leader, Clark's a leader, and they had this like romance for a minute. So first when they're talking, I got this feeling where I was like, as much as I respect them as leaders, and I totally respect their characters, I'm a little distracted by the fact that they had this kiss at one point because...
Now you're just waiting for it every single time?
No, well, at first, I
Right.
was like, this feels kind of catfightish in a way that, like, I didn't think it would.
Yeah.
It seemed kind of petty, like, it just seemed childish a little bit.
Right.
By the end of the episode, I was less like, this feels childish, and more like, I wonder if the kiss in the first place was just a mistake to, like... What if they had never had them actually kiss? What if they had just...
Oh my god, there's so much Klexa fans that are going to hate you right now.
I'm not saying it shouldn't have happened.
Right.
I was starting to think, I was like, okay, it's clear in the scenes, because they've only kissed the one time, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right? So, or at least
Once was good enough.
on screen. So, because you see these scenes with them on camera now,
Right.
she puts the knife to her throat, and we all have the thought, oh my god, are they going to kiss again, right?
Yeah.
And you sort of are thinking to yourself, you're like, it's always in the air now because we saw it the one time, but what if they had never kissed? You would still be like, there's definitely a vibe here going. They're clearly bonded in some way. They clearly have this thing
Yeah.
for each other. At the time, it was pushing the boundaries. Now I'm like, I wonder if it was distracting to actually give us the deliberate romance instead of just the suggestion of romance.
Oh, sorry. Go
No,
ahead.
I wasn't going to say anything.
That's
Oh,
Go ahead.
I feel like the fact that they had them kiss legitimizes how Lexa is acting now.
Right.
Yeah.
I feel like if nothing had ever happened to them, then it would be this unsaid thing, and you wouldn't really be able to figure out why she's going the length that she's going to protect Clark.
Right.
But now that we know that they've established that they have feelings, then you understand that Lexa still loves Clark, or whatever she does Clark. And you get how Clark could feel so betrayed.
You got a chat thing going on here?
No, I agree with just loving life. It says, "Hey, stop poking holes in my ship." Sorry, I love that. I can't remember where that line is specifically from off the top of my head. It's like, "Stop blowing holes in my ship" or something like that, and it's great. Sorry, continue.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's the basic gist. Is I feel like it legitimizes all the characters' actions from that point on.
Totally.
Yeah. But it does also kind of come into that whole cat fighting kind of thing that she makes so many decisions based off her feelings for Clark as opposed to what she would do if it was anybody else in that situation. So it is kind of distracting, and I do every time they're near each other think they're going to kiss, and not even on a conscious level. I just have this subconscious thing running all the time because there's always that tension.
What if they had never kissed, but like they had gotten really close a bunch of times, and it was like you could tell there was something going on, right? In the same way that you kind of get the feeling that like Bellamy and Clark does a little bit, but way more intense because their connection was much more intense. Then you get the whole thing that happens this season with Clark and Nyla. Nyla, where like they out of nowhere, Clark and this stranger get down. You know, it's because Clark is like pushing her feelings away for Lexa, and that's what she's really missing. She's trying to, fill in her like
void.
Her void, yeah. And that happens, and then she sees Lexa, and now like she in fact does swing that way. Now you know this because it's not just suggested anymore. You've seen it. So then you're like, is anything ever going to happen with these two? I wonder what's ever going to happen with these two. No?
I think it's just the writers really playing that game. I think it's just that whole thing of just really getting the fans to be like, we want it, oh, you took it away. So I think we're just gonna be playing that chase for a little bit.
I feel like I'm playing devil's advocate a little bit because like I don't think that it was a mistake. I just noticed it tonight, and I just
No, I feel
every time you're in that situation.
Do it. Everyone's just like, man, stop. Just let it happen.
I mean, to kind of just to quickly cover that point, I think that there's a term in improv where it's you build to a point where you either have to hit or kiss.
Oh, sure.
And I feel like they've built so much that if you kept building it and never had any payoff, that essentially people would be over it and it wouldn't have as much effect on it.
There's just be a tease all the time.
Yeah.
Anyway, I still think they're super sweet, and like by the end of the episode, I was way more on board than I was at the beginning of the episode. At the beginning, it felt petty, but then they're emotional and they're having like a moment. So by the end, it was pretty badass.
I mean, did you guys ever think that Clark would have actually gone through with the assassination?
No. Not even 1 second. Nothing.
It would have taken the show in like it would have been epic. Like from the story, like from the standpoint of storytelling, it would have been epic just because like who saw that coming? But like I didn't really believe they would do that. You know what I mean? That's even less.
I didn't think they would do that either. It's not like it would have been Game of Thrones style. Like you can't trust anything, you can't root for anyone. But I didn't even think she was actually going to go for the attempt at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand her considering it though. Like she's so filled with hate that I think that in her mind she would kill her, but overall that's not who she is. She's killed so many people, and they've shown her showing regret for it.
Yeah, I mean, just the fact that she even said sorry, that was enough for her emotions to go into haywire, and the fact that she was crying, mostly probably because she couldn't do it, and because we know there's something holding her back.
Do you know what else she said? Go float yourself.
Yes. Again, best line ever. I'm taking it and I'm using for everything, even if people don't know what I'm talking about.
My favorite part about it too is that she says it with such a deadpan, serious face, like it's a real bad insult.
Yeah.
Go float yourself.
Okay, so here's a question for you guys.
It's amazing.
Do you think she said go float yourself like as though the characters in the show would actually say that? Mm-hmm. Or do you think
Sorry, continue.
Do you think she said like as though the characters actually would say that, or do you think they're saying it like the writers know what the actually word that she wanted to say there was, and they're doing it for the audience sake? So where you know what she's actually saying, but they say float because they're not allowed to say the other word.
I don't know. Well, because I mean, that's
right.
I don't know. I mean, I'm picturing them up on the ship when people got floated when they did something, and I still can't take it seriously no matter what. They weren't up there long enough to get rid of one F word and replace it with a new one that it's float.
Yeah, it doesn't make a lot of sense.
Though I mean, if you take it in the context of the world, she was basically saying, kill yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, not necessarily like.
Well, I mean,
you know,
we actually know what she's actually saying.
Well, no, I mean.
Sorry, I was very distracted.
I mean, but like when we say "go f yourself," it's like, haha, I'm trying to essentially hurt you. But I think the intent was like, if I don't have the chance, you should kill yourself because you're the worst.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
I think
no.
Yeah.
It just, no matter what, it's I just can't take it as like a serious insult.
It just sounds so funny because you're just like, fine. I'm just like,
Kill yourself.
Yeah, I've watched too much Parks and Rec, so I'm just like,
Yeah.
treat yourself, and I'm just like,
yourself.
go float. But anyway, but no, I really liked the fact that it was kind of back and forth, and I loved how it was just like, oh, she was so angry, and at one point she's like, I'm crying because I don't know how I feel, and then all of a sudden, okay, I'll bow down to you, it's fine.
Yeah, when she broke and she was crying, that was a good moment.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I really, really liked the end of it. I thought when she was like, I pledge my fealty to you, and that
Yeah.
whole thing. I thought that was great. Like,
Yeah.
I bought into all that. And
Right.
it was nice to see... It was nice to see those two characters as equals again. Because
Yeah,
they
agreed.
kind of were there for a second, and then
Yeah.
they weren't for a long, long time. And it kind of like was a bummer when you would see Clark and Lexa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so now that Clark is like Juan Haida, and she's like really like ascending into that throne.
Oh, so
Yeah.
cool.
She is a badass.
Yeah,
Yeah.
She
always.
is. And she's stepping into that role finally. I feel like she was resisting being Juanita for a while,
Yeah.
and this episode she's like, how are we going to solve this, Juanita?
Right.
Done. Boom.
She's like, yeah, I'm a stud.
Yeah.
I loved like in the scene where they were commemorating, and you know, Clark was like the whole with the face paint and all that,
Right.
and Kane getting the thing on his arm, and there was that woman singing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was amazing.
Oh,
Well, yeah.
it looks like it might have been. A lot of people are talking about it in the chat, and I also
Yeah.
asked earlier, and it was it says Julia. I can't say her last name, and Tree Adams, I guess, were the singers.
Yeah, it was
Looks like-
super sick. That
Yeah,
was a great
it was
scene.
amazing.
Oh.
To me, it felt a lot like a wedding to join two families.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that, I mean, I'm sure that's what they were going for, but I really liked how well it was put together.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great. I mean, the set design and just like the tone, like the tone design of the show in general, the way it feels, they've really hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
And I think they got great at it in the second season. I think they've really nailed it now, because that whole sequence, everything from the costuming, the different tribes or the different clans,
Yeah,
Tribes.
clans.
Yeah, clans.
and like all the
Is it clans? Right?
no, they're the 13
13 tribes.
I thought
No,
there's 13
clan.
clans.
13 clans.
clan. Yeah, 13 clans.
Guys,
Okay.
clear it up in the chat.
Yeah.
I'll see it.
I guess I have an
13
aversion
clans.
to the word clan.
Yeah, fair enough, sir. 13.
Clan. Oh, there it is. Very nice.
Good joke, Terry. Good joke.
Really big delay.
Thanks.
Yeah, I just thought like everything. Did you guys, by the way, Prince Rowan? Did you guys all feel the same way that I did? That he actually just feels like he's an animated character from a video game.
Yeah,
Yes.
her and I were talking about that he kind of looks like if he made his hair white, he would look like the guy from Witcher.
Yeah,
Okay, I don't
who
know
was
that,
also
sure.
super hot.
I mean,
Like,
he's really hot.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah. Also, the guy from the Witcher is
Literally,
super hot,
guys,
yeah.
everything in the chat, clans.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
It's fine.
Just say the word, Tari. Say it.
Anyway.
Yeah, like just like the scars in his hair and the tone of his voice when he talks, he's kind of like this. Like, he feels like it should be like some animated sequence of a video game, and you find him and he like meets you and he comes out of a door and he's like, "You'll pass through a door. There'll be a river. On the 7th day, I'll meet you there."
On the
You'll-
7th of the 7th day.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
no,
is
I
that the
understand.
dramatic video game thing? That's kind of
Right.
what
Yeah,
it's reminding me
no.
of.
It's like
Okay,
something
wait.
from like Dragon Age that I can bode with. But I really liked just having them in the same room, and even though there was a lot of drama happening for the end part, which we'll get to, but like
Yeah.
I really loved just the interaction and how she had to step up. But I'm trying to see what her plan is,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
Clark obviously is always a few steps ahead usually. So
Right.
I'm trying to see what she's thinking.
Did you guys think so? They get to Polis, right? And they're walking around. Kane and Abby are checking it all out, and there's the awesome thing with them talking about who's the Chancellor, and
Right.
and they're looking at the building, the tower. The so everything is repurposed from the previous world, right?
Right.
So
Yeah.
does that tower, like, to you guys look like one of those crazy high-rise apartment buildings from before?
That's what I thought it was. but I don't know specifically what it is. And every time I hear polis, I keep thinking like,
well, it's Minneapolis, right?
Yeah. That's what I thought it was.
To me, it looks like the Leaning Tower of Pisa.
It does,
but it's not.
I mean, it can't be, but I'm assuming it's some kind of government building.
Yeah. Something. I mean, they clearly added something to the top of it.
And they keep
There's,
calling
like,
it the
torch and all
Capitol, so there has to be something that they're seeing that.
Yeah, I was just thinking it really does look a lot like it's a repurposed, like one of those weirdly shaped apartment buildings.
Yeah.
That's round, and it would be really
They have a
cool.
bunch of them here in LA.
Yeah.
This is Sheridan, guys.
Yeah.
I knew it.
Yeah.
That was the Radisson. I don't know.
Yeah, well, because they've done a really cool job so far with this show.
Yeah.
Remember last season when they find that underground parking garage?
Yes.
When Lincoln's all blood crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh gosh.
And how cool it was that you like see the cars
Yeah.
and like you're like, oh, this is just actually a parking garage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's cool when they do weave in like this. That's what this used to be. So if it was just a high-rise apartment building, like it'd be really pretty.
Right.
I'm fine.
I like that they're leaving it. They're not telling us what everything is, though. I
Yeah.
like that kind of world building that you're not totally sure exactly where we are.
Yeah.
or
Totally.
What this is.
Speaking of world building, I noticed in this episode specifically that they brought back a lot of the things that we kind of stopped talking about since we started living on the ground. And they brought up the 13th station that essentially broke apart.
Yeah.
Earlier they had mentioned I forget something that Sinclair was also brought in some world building stuff as well that I can't remember at the moment.
You talking about with Raven when he says I took a chance on
the heart murmur. Yeah.
Oh
on a
yeah.
pilot with a heart murmur.
Yeah.
Why don't you take a chance on her too?
Yeah.
Can we talk about Raven, by the way?
Yes.
I was segueing.
Nice.
Well,
Good
we do that,
segue. Took your segue and I stomped on it. All right, go.
Well, speaking of stomping, I wanted to talk about before we completely jump off the Lexa train. That I want to talk about her Spartan kick in the
Yes.
beginning of the episode that really just launched us into the
Yeah.
That
episode.
was such
yeah.
a good beginning to this episode.
Yeah.
That was
Solid.
great.
Yeah.
I don't know. The last couple episodes, I really liked them, but they didn't have kind of the gravity that this one had.
Totally.
And I like the darkness.
So much death.
Yes. I mean, it sounds terrible. I'm like, I like the death and the darkness, but I love it in the show.
A lot of
Yeah.
people die in this show. They die in droves. They die in like dozens and hundreds. No. Whammy. I think we all
Get
saw
out.
that
Where's
coming.
that slow
Get
drum
out.
roll?
There it is. Get out.
I thought you were going to talk about Raven stomping on my heart by not coming on the show yet. That's what I thought you were going to talk about.
She's probably going to be here soon. We haven't had
Yeah.
like a giant Raven heavy episode yet.
I hope she comes on
she's-
the show.
I mean, she was pretty important, and we learned a lot about
Right.
her. And gosh, what's his name?
Sinclair.
Yeah, he drives me up a wall. I'm like, pick a side. You're either really angry at her, and you're trying to push her with tough love, and then there are other times where I'm just like, what are you doing? You're either being a jerk or you're being nice.
This
Yeah.
is year
Too much.
2.
That's how teachers work.
This is year 2 of us really trying to get Lindsay Morgan on the show. So guys, if you're watching and you care, or you're listening and you care, just reminder real quick. I think it's like at Linz Morgan. Or I definitely know it's at Linz Morgan on her Twitter.
It might be.
Just
Yeah.
guys, just tweet at her and just remind her that the whole panel and Ben Bateman would really like her to come on the show as a guest. We would-
Also for Alexis, you guys should get Richard, aka Murphy, because I would like that very much, or Kane, because I love him too.
Oh, Kane.
love him. He's great.
Yes, please.
This was a good Kane episode, too.
was.
Good things happened with Kane.
I'm so
Yeah.
happy.
He's a good actor. He has gravitas, like just like
does.
when he just moves. It's like
Gravitas.
you know how there's like those people where they're so comfortable as TV and movie actors where they just talk and they're awesome. Like they just really buy it.
Yeah.
He's a guy that has that. And
Yeah.
sometimes it's there more. Tonight was one of those episodes I really thought it was there more.
You know who was missing from this episode?
Jaha.
Jaha and Murph.
Yeah, Jaha and Murphs, and also Ricky.
Yeah.
Ricky Whittle was not there.
Yeah.
I was like, what do you
He got a little mention, but that's
He
all we
did,
got.
and I was like,
And Harper, we haven't seen Harper in it. We saw her in the first episode for just a second.
Yeah.
I think other than that, she hasn't been in the season yet.
They're both working out together.
yeah, well.
Do you see that they do that?
Yeah.
No. Oh, you do. They tweet about that.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, you've never seen this?
No, I
They
don't.
like Chelsea Rice will tweet about it. She'll be like at the gym working out with Ricky, and he's like training her sometimes.
Yeah.
Oh, stop. I want to be that person.
I've seen. He's
I
like the
want that to
most.
be my life.
Yeah.
I would just be in the back just eating chips, just like, you guys go ahead, and I'm good.
Right.
All right. Since we were talking about Kane,
Yes, please.
let's talk about him real quick. I love that they're kind of making him the new chancellor. They're showing
It's
how
the
wise he
smartest
is and how.
decision.
It's such a natural progression there,
Right.
too. I'm so glad that Abby's the one that kind of put that forth, because he's not going to come out and just
Say it.
Yeah.
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 There's been 2 plot developments with Kane that have led us to this point that are really memorable. And the first one is when Kane was in like the jail cell and he and Jaha had to decide who was going to live and who was going to die. That was like the rebirth of Kane, which was interesting and good to see, and in retrospect makes a lot more sense when you consider that Jaha's totally nuts now and Kane has like found his actual like inner peace.
Yeah.
It's made his character much better. But then there was the whole plot line towards the end of last season when everybody's getting blown up and Kane basically is dead.
Yeah.
And they just decided to just have him not be dead. Like,
I'm okay with that.
for zero
with
explanation.
that, yeah.
Right? Like, he was all, for all intents and purposes, he was dead. Like,
Right.
he got crushed
he
by
was.
a beam and, like, they gave you the whole, like, I'm saying goodbye to you, you need to
Yeah.
fight. And then he just was totally fine. Which is the only that's, for me, the only, like, false ending where I was just like, what? Why did that
He
even
needs
happen?
to be the Chancellor.
He's a magical being, guys.
Duh.
He's amazing.
Yeah.
But I completely forgot about that, and I just, because I love Kane, just accepted that as reality,
yeah.
that it was
I was
totally
like,
fine.
it's
But
fine.
wasn't he, I mean, the beam was what was keeping him alive?
Yes,
for Abby?
because he
Was
wasn't.
what she-
Yeah, because he would have bled out and
Right.
he died
But he
faster.
just didn't. They just took it off,
They,
and
like,
then he was
fought.
all good.
He, like,
Yeah.
fought for it. I don't know. I just,
Yeah,
like...
yeah.
If
But,
you're mentally strong enough, you can fight through
And
bleeding to
Kane
death.
is
Totally,
definitely that
yeah.
guy.
Yeah, he's definitely mentally tough.
Yeah.
It was like, blood, get back in my leg, and it was like,
Okay.
yeah.
So before is there ever going to be, like, we're never going to have that relationship, right? At this point, I think it's pretty
What,
comfortable.
who?
Abby and Kane?
Yeah, right?
Oh,
No.
no.
I don't think so.
Sorry,
No,
iTunes
I mean,
listeners.
they're very much colleagues.
Yeah.
There's a mutual respect there, but I feel like Abby is never gonna get over her husband,
I don't think
Yeah.
so.
and so I don't think that she's ever gonna have a love interest.
No,
I
and
don't
if
think
they
so too. And I just think that there's no reason to take her down that road in
Yeah.
this
or
story.
Kane
Just-
either.
Right.
Yeah. Well, maybe Kane. I don't know.
I just don't think, I think he's focused on what he's doing right now too, and I don't
Yeah.
think that that's going to be something.
And
in
she has
his
a lot
path.
of on her plate too, so I'm just like,
Yeah, now hopefully she'll have less now.
yeah.
That she'll just focus on one thing, which everyone has seemed in the last couple of episodes to want from her anyway.
Like pushing for
Yeah.
it.
What an interesting character turn she's taken. She's become mostly an irrelevant character to the show. Like, she adds very little. She's basically behind the 8 ball on the fact of what's really going on with her daughter. Clark's like so much more important, so much more relevant, so much more impactful to the world they're living in than just like her captured daughter. Like, she's the commander of death.
What?
Right.
What's up?
Apparently, Abby and Kane kissed
What?
in the trailer that we saw, like for like the season.
Oh, really?
That's what everyone's saying.
I just don't like
Oh,
it.
and everyone's calling them Cabby, and I'm like, no, that makes it even worse.
I remember Cabby, and I feel like I remember watching
Yeah.
the trailer at least
Yeah.
once.
I missed that, guys, completely. I'm sorry,
miss
but
it too.
I
We'll
don't like it.
Watch it.
Yeah.
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 Anyway, we can move on.
No, but as far as Abby goes, it's just like more than once her character has had that. I've had that feeling about her character. Where I'm like,
Yeah.
you don't really get what's going on here. Like, you guys, you were bosses up top. You're not on the ground anymore, and your daughter is so much more relevant to your people than you guys are giving credit for. Like,
Right.
she's the only thing about your people that is respected by their leaders.
Yeah.
Completely.
And she seems to she doesn't really think things through. Like, she puts her own emotions first all the time, especially when it comes to Clark, and I think that kind of clouds her judgment a little bit.
Yeah. I do want to talk about before we just move on from Raven.
Okay.
Because we didn't really get to cover
Well,
it.
Yeah, I was gonna go move to Raven.
Oh, I thought we moved to. And
No, no, no.
Now we're on
Uh,
Kane. Now go to Raven.
Yeah, well, we were starting on Raven, and then it was like Kane, so I went there.
Do you want to transition
thanks.
transition us into Raven?
I was
Oh no!
Oh my gosh! Speaking of Raven, I actually really enjoyed this storyline with her. It's been a long time since we've seen cocky Raven,
yeah.
and then to have her spend this time with Sinclair.
She got immediately shut down, like real quick.
Yeah, but I mean, that's kind of how her character is.
No, I
she's
mean-
never gonna have a good day.
It sucks though.
It's also like,
Incredibly sad.
it's just like real life though. Like those like people in life generally whose like personalities are that like overcompensating, super overconfident, like really cocky.
Yeah.
Like they do fail.
Yeah.
And she's been knocked down a few times now, and so I liked that they went into the situation going, okay, we need to outsmart these rockets. And it was like they gave you that moment where they were like, maybe it's just a bunch of zeros. You're like, please don't be a bunch of zeros.
Oh my
Like,
god!
I
I would have
genuinely
been
thought
so
that they were going to
upset.
do that.
I would have been so upset. I would have been like, table flip, I'm done.
I was waiting for them to be like, "Did you try all zeros?"
Yeah, right.
And they go in, and
That would be Erin in the background going, "Hey Raven, did you try all zeros?" Hey.
And then Sinclair
Hey,
was
baby
like,
girl.
Sinclair was like, "It's not all zeros. Go see if you can find it written down in the room." And you're like, "Oh, they're gonna go look for it and find it in the room." And then they
so much.
didn't.
What? You can't hate Elle.
No, they just didn't find anything.
It was great that they didn't find anything. They completely failed because deconstructing a 12-digit sequence to launch nuclear rockets or
terrible.
not nuclear, but like big rockets is not going to happen.
Well, I like that they also thought that there was maybe a possibility that the president just wrote him down and put him in his desk somewhere. Like that's
I feel like there would
totally
be
logical.
a safe and like 3 other people would know it, but only just those 3 people. Like
Or
I
it's
think
like the real launch codes where someone knows like this might be from a movie and not a real thing where everybody knows. This is an Erin fact. But this is a thing that everybody knows a piece, but no one knows the full thing.
Right.
Is
yeah, that
real?
makes sense.
Is that real or did I make that up?
Yeah, he
That's
like,
a
gives
thing.
3
I think that's a
digits
thing. Yeah,
to 3 people. So
it makes sense.
How afraid were you guys of like Raven being like, "You have me," and her just sitting down and just being like, just a little longer.
I assume
It's like,
listeners,
oh.
that's a keyboard clacking.
And then she's like, "Got it!" Like, how afraid were you guys that was gonna happen?
I
That would have
didn't.
never happened.
That would have never happened
Yeah.
because Raven is a smart cookie.
But she's
Not that
terrible
smart.
at computers.
She's
Yeah.
terrible
Yeah.
with computers.
But I mean, or the metaphorical version of that, like,
Right.
like carry the one
Oh,
and connect
God.
the circuit breaker
Oh,
to the
God.
rotary girder.
Not ready.
You know what I mean?
I understand.
Checking the specs or something like.
Ben totally knows about computers.
With a wrench. Yeah.
What's a rotary girder? I know the line from Tommy Boy when he's like, they're like, "You okay, Tommy?" And he's like, "I'm just checking the main line of the rotary girder. I'm retarded." That's where I got that one from. But anyway,
Yeah.
Yes.
So this whole sequence
Oh my
led to what I felt like was one of the harshest scenes this season so far, but also one of the most gruesome scenes that I felt. Just
woof.
so we had Gina who had gone off to find those codes,
Right.
and she gets stabbed so many
Shanked.
times
She got
in the
stabbed.
stomach.
She got shanked. It was
Yeah,
just like,
it was
cat.
rough. Like, even when Finn had died, it was like,
Okay.
we see them hug.
All right, guys.
Yeah, I know.
Come on. I
Keep
just
it-
did my
cool it
makeup.
down.
Oh, God.
We just see him bleeding from the stomach. We don't see him actually getting Game of Thrones in the stomach.
yeah,
That was
You know.
crazy. She got Jon Snowden. That was nuts.
she got Jon Snow
She
or
did get-
someone else. We shouldn't spoil. Too
Right.
much.
Well,
Yeah.
Well.
So, I mean, I thought that was rough.
was
Which
hard to watch.
then led to this, the whole Mount Weather exploding.
And like an epically satisfying scene from the point of view of not saving the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is great. Like, not, I mean,
There was no way they were going to make it in
No.
8 seconds anyway. I would have been really surprised if they just happened to save the 36, which, rest in peace, the 36.
Yeah.
But, like, holy crap.
I always think it's really interesting, and I've said this before about this show, which is one of my favorite parts about the writing on this show. So hats off to the writers who are excellent. But
Yeah.
so okay, like you have this assassin, and they give you this great twist on what's going to happen. So Gina gets stabbed, which, and by the way, like talk about the least sympathetic character that's ever been on a TV show. Like she was never going to last as Bellamy's girl. She never was going to last as a character. They didn't develop her character other than like 2 kisses. So like that just happens. But so she gets stabbed, and like you see the countdown. So you're thinking, oh my, okay, there's 1 minute, and they're gonna save the day, like just like you've seen in a million movies where they stop it at 2 seconds or something.
Right.
And then it's just like, nope. All that's gonna happen actually is the 2 characters that you do care about get out, and everyone else dies.
Yeah.
Those extras. Jeez.
Everyone else dies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was, I'm so glad they didn't, because it felt like longer than 45 seconds. So Gina's like, you have 45 seconds, you can do it. And it felt like they were out there for like 4 minutes.
Right.
Yeah.
But I'm so happy that they didn't go back and stop the clock after that. It would just been, it's just logistically impossible.
Yeah.
Thank you, writers, for being realistic in this.
And even beyond that, though, just the one
No,
thing to add
no.
was like, how great was it that so she gets stabbed, and then she has the moment where like character that's dying gets to be not dying for a second and act completely normal and talk like wheezing, but like I'm bleeding out, but I
Right.
can still like move and get in a position to stop this thing. But then she's just dead. Like
Yeah.
'cause you're like, why didn't he just kill her all the way so she couldn't stop the self-destruct?
See, that's the part that I didn't understand is why he kept her alive. I mean, maybe he thought that she was just going to die, but you can hear her coughing
Yeah.
Right.
He was-
as he was
He
doing the
stabbed
codes.
her pretty efficiently. Like, she
Yeah.
was not going to last for very long.
I mean, yeah, for very long. So, I mean, I guess it doesn't
And
really
also
matter.
how, I mean, there's not really a way for her to stop the codes anyway. The code is on his arm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe it was
there's
just
really
it was
nothing.
just it was just probably the first thing he thought of or
He
planned.
didn't get
maybe.
out.
Yeah.
Stab, done.
Yeah,
Boom.
makes
Yeah,
sense.
So at the end of the episode, when Lexa and Clark are talking, and she says, how did a grounder know the self-destruct sequence codes? And then Lexa says something like, you know the answer to that, Clark? Or
No, she says, we will find the answers soon.
Okay, that's what she says.
Yes.
Gotcha. Because the way she says it and the way that she accepts it, for a second there, I thought it was one of those, you know the answer, and it's like a hard truth.
Right.
But like, okay, so I didn't miss something there.
No.
Oh,
I mean, we find out by the end of the episode exactly how.
I wanted to ask about that because I actually had this thought, but I was like, that doesn't make sense. I think he's actually back at whatever. But everyone in the chat's like, was Jasper in there? Because the last episode we saw, wasn't he in there?
And same with, I thought Monty
might have been also in
and his
there.
mom,
When his
right?
mom.
Well-
so that's why I'm like, that's what I was trying to figure out.
It's
No.
been a week, though.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So I
Yeah.
feel like they went back to Arcadia.
They
at
had
one
to.
point.
They wouldn't kill Jasper and Monty off without letting us
Showing
know, and they're
them.
just done. There's no way.
Yeah, which I agreed. I just I was thinking about that during the episode, and I was like, that doesn't make sense. So I just kind of put it in the back of my brain. But like everyone was talking
Monty's
about
mom is probably dead. I'll bet you. I mean,
Very likely.
Well, yeah, she's either dead or she's with them at Arcadia. So
Yeah.
we won't know
I mean,
until it happens.
Do you guys feel bad for Farm Station? I mean, they've essentially been fighting their way up until this point. Then they find a new home.
And they're celebrating and
Yeah.
having a good time, and I'm just like,
and then the only character from Farm Station that got any screen time wasn't in there.
Yeah.
I just think that it's definitely going to be one of those. Oh, sorry, I'm reading one of the lines. It's like goodbye, priceless works of art, and maybe even the Constitution. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot that was in there.
Everything was in there.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
But I think this is definitely going to extremely add more of the grounder racism that we have.
Yeah.
Right.
And I'm
Definitely.
very intrigued to see how they're going to change that.
Yeah.
Because there has to be a resolve at one point where he might be saved by a grounder and he'll realize I was wrong the whole
Pike?
time. A little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
For Pike. But at the same time I'm kind of hoping that he stays this jaded, especially now, because literally the group that he has kept alive is now dead.
Well, he personally doesn't have any reason not to be that way. I mean,
Yeah.
he hasn't had any good experiences at all.
and this is not
Yeah.
going to help.
And he just
either.
got double crossed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, fully.
And then I'm excited to see, since we're going to get into Bellamy next,
Yeah.
is the fact of how he's going to be now, especially with the person who saved his life, but now has ruined his life at the same time.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. I mean, thank you for segueing into I
Good tried. I'll do my best.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, you're doing a great job. But yes, Bellamy, I love that they were on this crusade. They're
was
like,
great.
we're going to save the summit. We're going to warn everybody. And the whole time they were just pawns.
yeah, they were
Yeah.
just being played.
It
Yeah.
sucks.
Led quite easily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you had to have known that either one of them was going to die when they did their goodbye.
Yeah.
Because he's spending so much time with Gina that...
Oh, yeah. She had so much screen time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like,
Yeah. So, I mean, we're going to have to deal with the fallout of that. And now he and everyone else are preparing for war.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I mean, I think as far as that whole sequence was concerned, like, I mean, and then also Bellamy and Octavia, their relationship and like their moment of talking and her like unwillingness to accept everything. I honestly, to be completely honest with you guys, when they sat down and they were sitting like above that entrance,
Yeah.
I had this moment where they were like talking, and I was like, God, they're really getting really close. And I was like, oh wait, they're brother and sister.
I've been watching too much Game of Thrones,
No,
my
they
friend.
just haven't developed their relationship as brother and sister like with any significant screen time in a long time. I feel
Well, yeah,
like.
because she's
Yeah.
been
It's
mostly
been- yeah.
spending with the Grounders and
been a
being with
while.
Lincoln,
Right.
and then he's been kind of not taking over, but like he's been mostly just working on himself.
They've like developed her character to such a point. She's changed so much
Yeah.
from being like the sister to just like she's just her own badass
Yeah.
person.
Yeah, and I'm really glad about that because remember how we all reacted when she first came out of the
Yeah.
arc,
Right.
We're back,
and was just
bitches.
yeah, we're back, bitches. And
Yeah.
now she's sitting there and she won't even stay in Mount Weather because it's not part of her anymore. She doesn't belong there, and I'm just like, oh, Octavia.
What a crazy different show those first few episodes were.
I
So
like
crazy
I
making
rewatched season 1 over the holiday break, and I was like, this is a totally different show.
It is completely
Yeah.
different. When I started watching the show, I started with season 2 only because it was all that was available on my app at the time, and so I didn't watch season 1 until after I watched season 2, and it's weird. And then I rewatched it. It's so weird to go back. It's,
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah,
yeah.
especially for you. I'm like, there's
Yeah.
a lot that happened in season 2, and then to go back to 1, you're like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Right.
I commend you. That's great.
I mean, did you guys honestly think that Echo was going to betray them? Like,
Yes.
we
Yes.
mentioned her last episode,
sneaky.
though.
She had that face the whole
She has
entire
a sneaky,
time.
sneaky face.
Yeah.
She just comes across. She has a really weird vibe, and Bellamy's so trusting.
And like, why would she come out now? Like, it was weird to me. You know what I mean?
I mean, because we had already seen the Ice Nation marching on and doing their display. So there's a chance that they could have had that connection.
Nope.
They were neighbors.
Nope.
You know, you hang out with cellmates
Nope.
and all that jazz.
As soon as Echo came back, I was like, something's not right.
Yeah.
And then she had that face the whole time when they actually got to where they found the 2 dead guards. I was like, no, she's up to something. Immediately, I was like, I see your shifty eyes. There's a thing.
Yeah, she was for sure up to something.
Yeah. I just didn't think it was that bad.
Yeah, it was a sweet plot twist. Talk
It
about
was.
a
It
good
was
plot
great.
twist.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well
I mean,
done.
You could tell there was definitely something going on that whole time. It was all building up to not. I mean, it just didn't feel like it was going to be what they were saying it was going to be at all.
Right.
But I didn't see what actually happened coming, which I love.
Yeah.
100 Riders were just on top of it.
They
They
are.
were amazing.
It was just well plotted. I mean, and like also I think, yeah, the plotting of this show's really cool. Like they did great. They think they did a great job this episode with taking our expectations and then also just like moving us into this like this whole new swing of like where this is going to be. Like we have a war starting now, and Clark's in such a cool position.
Yeah.
And you had like sort of this proxy marriage to some degree of the clans.
Yeah.
And like, here's a question for you guys though: when they brand Kane's arm, and like we need the leader.
Woof.
How is Clark not just the leader, by the way? Like, if you respect her and she's part of that tribe and she's like the one, how is she not the leader? What am I missing here?
I think, at least for me, I feel like it would be different to brand Wanheda than to brand or actual. Well, I mean, even though she is technically a Sky person, to them actually branding a Sky person, I think it's more of a stance than having Wanheda do it.
I do too, and
also-
I liked that they did that,
Yeah.
that they had it be Kane, because Clark has taken this role of being the leader, but she isn't so much, I don't know, part of the rest of them. She's kind of been off on her own, and
Right.
she's kind of her own entity here. So I like that she kind of stepped aside too and let Kane take that role.
Right.
Yeah.
Fully, yeah.
I mean, and you can assume. I mean, you can take Kane as being the ambassador. Like,
Yeah.
if you want to equate it to something, it's like Clark is more of basically like a mascot. for
Yeah,
their-
she's the front man.
Yeah. I mean, that's
Or
what she
woman.
is. Yeah.
Woman. You
She's
knew
the
what I
front
meant.
person.
She's the front
Human
human being.
Kane is actually the basically other side of the partnership.
Yeah, I like what Pamela said, where she said Clark is a symbol.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
actual, I
Yeah,
like that.
and they've like, and it's another one of those characters where like I think about where each character's come from since the beginning of the show, and they've spent. It's a shame actually. Like Raven's like one of the least developed characters actually, really from the beginning of the show. Like Clark and Octavia their development's just been like so pronounced. In fact, who would even be in the same category as those two for who's been developed to that degree? Most of the other characters feel a lot like they felt when they landed. I mean, give or take like a little bit. I mean, who am I forgetting?
I mean, I feel like everyone's gone through a change. Like, I would say Murphy is very well developed. I would say that. I think Jasper is
Jasper's
gone.
Jasper's
Yeah,
gone
he's-
through a
he's-
big
yeah,
journey.
Yeah,
he's
he's
done
grown
a
up a
full-
lot.
Right.
Yeah, that's true. It's a big one.
Yeah.
I think Monty's also grown up a little bit, just a little bit. I feel like when he was trying to talk Bellamy out of trying to chase Clark with that wounded leg, I feel like Monty would have kept his mouth shut
Yeah,
back
I think
in the
he's
first
just
season.
now coming in.
Yeah, he's getting there after what happened at Mount Weather. I think he's just like with Jasper. I think we're getting a whole different side of Monty, especially now that he found his mom.
I guess Lincoln actually has had a pretty sweet development.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
I agree.
He's really had a good. He's got it, but I still think though, just those two, Octavia and Clark, like really, if you look at that first episode.
Oh yeah, they're
Yeah,
completely different people.
drastically different.
Yeah,
They're like
Right.
not even the same conversation anymore. So
I agree.
yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. And I loved the introduction of the Ice Queen.
Yeah.
Like they had been
Talk about
talking
an
about the
entity.
whole the last few episodes,
Yeah.
being like, Ice Queen, she's the worst. Ice Queen, she's terrible. And then she had this badass intro where she's basically got the war that she wants,
Yep.
and she's giving out orders, and she has the last mountain man on her side,
Yeah.
Emerson.
Emerson, that was his
That's
name.
his
Yeah,
name.
Emerson. Very nice.
Knew I knew it.
Yeah.
In
Oh,
there
I hated him
somewhere.
so much in season
He-
2. I was like, no, why are you back? But I mean, he's a really good villain.
He's so slimy.
I hate it. It gives
Very
me
slimy.
creeps.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I mean,
It's good. Yeah, it's a good intro to what's a taste of things to come. I think it's going to be awesome. I really like where the show's going. The plotting this episode was particularly strong, I felt.
I agree.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Cool. Before we jump into predictions, anyone have any last thoughts?
No.
Mm-mm.
All right, start predicting.
And now, your AFTERBUZZ TV predictions.
We will start down at the other side of the table. What do you guys got for me?
I'm really glad that we saw the Ice Queen finally come in. Obviously, this is super obvious. We're going to have an epic battle between them. But my favorite, once again, my prediction has to do with Clark and Lexa. I'm glad to see them together again, and I think that they're going to bond even more, and they're going to end up running ship on the Ice Queen.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool they're a team. They need to fill the void of Bellamy's girlfriend because his sadness is going to set in, and Clark's like pretty much off the table for a while, I think. So I don't think we're going to see like any Bellark for a while. I think Raven and Bellamy are going to have a thing. Because they slept together in the first season, but that was like...
my God, they did! I completely forgot.
That was like...
there's a lot of sleeping around, though,
That was
in
like
the first
high
season.
school sleeping together.
Yeah.
Remember like Bellamy coming out of the tent being like, with these two women in my gun. Like,
God.
Bellamy.
I do not want to remember that Bellamy
What a lady killer.
ever again.
But no, I think because she Raven had this moment where she sort of the personal triumph. Like I think she's gonna start to open up a little bit more, and I think they're both gonna be kind of reeling, and it just seems like it. I mean, he's gonna need someone, she's gonna need someone. It would fit. It would make sense to me.
Yeah.
It's a good way to, and it also well, that's a whole other conversation. But yeah, I think you can expect some romance there.
All right.
I'm excited to see what happens with the vote for who's going to be the next Chancellor. Okay, I just want to make sure. And seeing if Kane will actually win. I feel like they would, because at this point everyone's kind of just sick and tired of Abby at this point.
Maybe there's a wild card, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm
true.
saying. That's why I'm wondering if there's going to be a third person that's going to run in there. I think it'll be very interesting. I'm excited to see Lexa and Clark working back together again. I think that's going to be really awesome. But I want to know more about the Ice Queen and what the Ice Nation has to offer about this war and what their hand is in all this. Because we've only heard word of mouth, but I want to know actually seeing the camp and everything now, or clan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My prediction is basically around the consequences of Mount Weather going away. We've spent the last couple episodes talking about how much of a resource it's been for both sides. Now, even though that they've joined, they both lost their medical center, their food supply. And so I think that they're going to have a lot of struggle in kind of combining with this big loss that they've suffered. Also, hashtag Raven for Chancellor.
Raven's sweet.
Raven for Chancellor.
She's great. Here's a question for you guys.
Yes.
And let's as we do our sign off, I want everybody to think about this. And you guys who are listening and watching, this is my question of the week for you guys. We're 3 episodes in.
Yeah.
So which major character from this show will be the first to die this season? That's just the hard prediction. Doesn't have to be that educated. Just when you give your sign off, just say it. And when you guys tweet it at us, I want hashtag ABTV100. Who you think? Tag any one of us. Use the hashtag ABTV100. Let's do our sign-offs and who's gonna die.
Jeez, why did I have to go first? You can find me all over social media as atorres890. I'm trying to start my own adult podcast. It's called Batteries Not Included. So I'm working on that. So that's something that's gonna be heading into something. I'm working on it. I guess next major person, I think it might be Jasper.
Jasper.
Yeah.
It's a strong pick.
Either Jasper or Monty. One of the two.
Sure.
What about you, Mr. Ben Bateman?
You guys can find me at Ben Bateman Media on Twitter and Instagram, and I do Magic the Gathering and action movie content for RocketJump.com and the Popcorn Talk Network. Check that out. Tweet me if you have questions. The first character that is going to die this season, I'm going right there with you. It's Jasper. I think I'm 100% on board with you. Copy that.
Yeah.
All right. What about you, Erin?
I'm Erin Lane. You can find me on Twitter at LoveErinLane and on Instagram and Snapchat at AlwaysEatYourCake. And I hate to follow the crowd. I also think it's Jasper, but I want to throw a wild card in and say Bellamy.
Ooh, there's a lot of people in the chat who are saying that.
Nice.
Continue.
I'm going to say that it's going to be Pike. He's due for some death.
It's kind of not really a fair prediction. He's only existed for one episode.
It doesn't matter. He's
still major.
gonna die.
Hashtag ABTV100. Let us know what you guys think.
If not him, then Indra to pass the
if
baton
Inver doesn't,
to
I'll freak out.
Octavia.
No, but I
Oh.
agree. But I have to agree before we go with everyone in the chat. Lincoln.
No!
I don't think they should, but it could be a thing because he has a new show coming
Yeah,
out,
it's true.
American Gods. So yeah.
Bummers. No,
Yeah.
don't like it.
Sorry, where can folks find you?
And I'm Tauri J. Miller. You can find me at Tauri J. It's TauriJay. Thanks again for joining us. We look forward to seeing you every week. Make sure to come back this time next week, and we will be covering the 100 episode 4. Make sure also to like, subscribe, go on that iTunes and comment, tell us what you think, and give us as many stars as you think we deserve. 5 is amazing. Until next week, have a great one. Stay grounded.
Mwah.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later, or
Views
float.
expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.